Hi guys, as usual, all the necessary links in the video description and my test system setup details for those guys also in the video description. If I will forget to mention anything in the review, or if you will ask me anything that may be useful to others, I will also put that in the video description. Well, I remember that for quite a long time, original Khadas board was a kind of unofficial benchmark of ASR. That came from the fact that if something was measuring worse, then the comments were that Khadas is better. And if something measured better, then it was like, wow, that measures better than Khadas Tone board. But I haven't had the original Tone. I never owned one before. So, excuse me. So when I got this opportunity to test not one, but two Khadas Tone variants, a regular Tone 2, that's this guy without headphone amplifier, and Khadas Tone 2 Pro with headphone amplifier, I was immediately interested. And I was even more interested once they got delivered, as I always had this impression that Tone would be the same or similar size as most of the desktop DACs. And it's not. As you can see, even the boxes are very small, and the tones are smaller than my hand. They are closer in size to larger USB dongles than desktop-sized DACs. So as you can see, they are not very large, they are very small. And you can get the regular Tone, let's switch them like that. You can get the regular Tone on Ali right now for $107. We are in the summer sale when I'm recording this video. And this guy can be yours for $152. So those are quite interesting prices, especially for the regular Tone, because you're getting ESS Sabre 9058 Q2M based DAC for that price. And in this case, you're getting also a very good headphone amplifier, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's start with some numbers. Both of those guys are very similar, and they both can decode PCM up to 52 bits and 768 kilohertz. They can also do native decoding for DSD 512, and the Tone 2 Pro also does MQA because it's using slightly different XMOS chip. This one is using XMOS XU216, and this one is using XMOS XU208. So this guy will also do MQA. Okay, both of them are using ESS Sabre chips, exactly the same ones, and THG plus noise for both of them is 0.000126%. So this is staggering low number. SINAT is specified as 118 decibels, signal to noise ratio and dynamic range is specified as 121 decibels. It's 119 for the Tone, Tone 2 regular, so 2 decibels less. And crosstalk for both of them is specified as 120 decibels. So this should be an absolute separation between channels. Current to voltage stage uses OPA 1612 in both of them, and low pass filtering uses in this guy, in Tone 2 Pro, uses also OPA 1216, and in this guy the LPF stage uses RT6862 operational amplifiers. So that may be the cause of the slight difference in dynamic range between those two guys. The frequency response for both of them is specified as anything between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. And they both are using AQ silicon oscillators, crystal oscillators. So that's an excellent thing. And I'm actually really surprised that they were able to fit all of that into those very small chassis. So when we'll be talking about the external build, let's start with the regular Tone 2. And yes, you can see that because it doesn't have headphone output ports. Other than that, it doesn't have any model marking number. so it's very anonymous. Okay, so on the top of the device, we have a very large and nice gold tone marking, and we have this control wheel that rotates slowly with quiet clicks, and it does have an excellent amount of torsion, meaning that it's just right. It's not rotating too easily and it's not rotating too hard. And this guy doubles as a button. And the manual and all materials on the Khadas page say that you should push this button. The problem is that no matter how hard I pushed this button, it didn't work until I realized that those arrows in the manual are pointing like that. So you actually are pushing this guy, but you're pushing this guy from this side, not from the top side, but from the back side. And this works as a switch then. On the bottom of the device, we have a rubber mat that is used to hold the Khadas in place on your desk, and it works rather well. And in the back, we have a set of input-output ports. We have those guys. USB input, we have I2S input, and this doubles as a linear power supply input. But this is not a regular USB-C cable if you would be using this as an LPS source. You need to get a special one from Khadas. Then you have a coaxial SPDIF input, and those two guys are looking like the regular RCA ports, but if you take a look inside, you'll see something interesting. You have two connectors inside. The one closer here is the regular RCA connector, but inside you have a smaller one down below that's used for a third connection point. Basically, those guys are also used for balanced outputs. You can get special RCA plugs for that, maybe not exactly RCA, the plugs that will be matching those ports and working as balanced connections, but this also works perfectly fine with regular single-ended RCA cables, although in this case you will get the regular single-ended connection. And I will show you how those connectors work. I was almost buying them. The thing is that you can get a ready-made cable from Khadas that will convert those connectors to regular XLR plugs, but the problem is that it's quite expensive. It's almost half the price of the Tone 2 Pro. So I was thinking about getting the plugs and soldering the cable myself, but even the plugs are quite expensive at a little over than $10 per plug. But they are available, you can get them, and you can do such a cable on your own. So, moving to Tone 2 Pro, you won't be able to tell that one apart from regular Tone 2 unless you see those jacks on the right side of the device. We have regular 3.5mm connector here, and we have balanced 4.4mm connector here. And Tone 2 Pro uses RT integrated amplifiers for the headphone amplifier part. Okay, so that was about the build. Yes, they are both metal and they are very small and they are looking like some kind of art pieces on your desk. Okay, give me a second and I'll get my USB power supply so you'll see how we can switch the modes and how the RGB lighting works. Okay, so I've connected my USB power source, and as we can see, we are using USB-C port, not the LPS. In case of LPS, that would be lighting up in white. And the interesting thing is that the whole board is powered from the same source, from the same signal cable that you would be using this to connect this guy to your computer or your tablet or your phone or whatever. The same connection provides power and the same connection provides the streaming. data streaming. So basically, as you can see, right now we are in the mode for changing the volume, and as I will be rotating the wheel, we will be changing the volume, and that will be reflected in the lightning of that ring down below under the knob. And the thing is that maybe it's not the best and not the simplest way of connecting and setting up both units, but you're doing this basically once and you're forgetting about that and you'll never do that again. But it's not easy to do so. As you can see, there is a lot of modes that you can switch between using that knob. You can change the filter for your DAC chip, you can choose input, you can choose the gain for the headphones, that would be for this guy. You can switch the tracks, you can set the volume, and you can control the device. And for all of those things, the RGB lighting will be changing the color, so you will know what you are doing. As I've said earlier, for the volume control, we have that blue light, but it will change depending on the selection that you will make. And as you can see, there is a full gallery of colors. So it's not super easy. And by the way, it's a very good thing that you have printed manual included in the box. That one, yeah. But as I've said, this is, let's say, fire and forget thing. You're setting this once and you're leaving it like you've set it, and you'll only be using later the volume control. Okay, now to the main part of the review, which is basically the sound quality. And when it comes to the sound quality, those guys are sounding basically exactly the same. I wasn't able to tell them apart. Maybe on some tracks, maybe on some tracks, the Tone 2 Pro was a little bit clearer. But that was maybe more like a placebo, so I'm not completely sure about that. So to my ears, they sound the same, and the numbers tell the same story, and basically they are using the same chipsets inside, so they should be the same. And let's start with the bass. These guys are small, and I did not expect such a bass authority. I know it's stupid because it's not about the looks, but they took me by surprise. Bass is full, powerful, with great extension and authority. It digs really low, and it can shake your walls with right amplifier. But it's also very clean and precise. It will let you enjoy texture and timbre of bass instruments. There is also a perfect amount of mid bass, just enough to make the sound full, but not too much to overflow mid-range or mask anything in other parts of the spectrum. Mid-range. This is Sabre, this is 9058 Q2M, and that's a compliment here. We are getting clean, detailed, and very natural voices. There is no sibilance, and Tone 2 does not sound analytical at all. But this clear and transparent presentation carries a lot of nuances in voices, like small musical changes in voice of Halsey in her Sorry song, which I highly recommend, by the way, if you're not familiar with that one. Treble. Treble is very airy and open. It has a lot of light, but it's never bright or sharp. Again, no sibilance or harshness, but it's not making everything artificial round and smooth either. It's clean, it's open, and it sounds very natural without sacrificing resolution and extension. And I realized I forgot to tell you one interesting thing. Those headphone output ports work at the same time, they work simultaneously, although the volume control is common for both of them. But if you want to, you can use them with two sets of headphones at the same time. Now, moving on to resolution. The Sabre family always shined in the resolution department, and Tone 2 are no exception here. They are not analytical, but there are tons of detail for you to find, and all of that is delivered in a way that I like the most. That will not distract you from music, from the flow of the song. You can enjoy your music as a whole, and if you wish to, you can dive in for small details inside the track. Soundstage and imaging. The soundstage is very wide and is very deep, with very good layering and, surprise, also height information present. The center image is precise, and so are other sound sources, locations, and both tone 2 variants went with flying colors from my test tracks, like Wish You Were Here from Live in Gdańsk, where you have audience sounds all around, and then you have a stage that's above that, and guitars and vocals placed on different places and with some height difference in the stage. So they are both excellent when it comes to the imaging and soundstage size, width and depth. And this guy gets additional part of the review because of the head amplifier. Headphone amplifier. Tone 2 Pro as a head amp is even better than a standalone DAC. It's even clearer and more transparent, and I was amazed to see that it can actually drive my area organic properly with rumbling bass. Yes, I was at 80–90% of maximum volume, probably closer to 90% volume, but area was properly driven with smooth treble and deep bass rumble when needed. And there is no hiss. The background is super clean. I've also used my IAMS collection and my dynamic full-size scans too, and the headphone amplifier in Tone 2 Pro is really excellent. So, the summary, what do I think about them? First, a couple of random things. First one, skipping tracks causes popping sounds. They are there, but they are really, really quiet. At the beginning, I wasn't sure what I'm hearing, but then I had focused, and the next time when I was skipping to next track, I've listened closely, and there is a slight pop. It's very quiet, but it's there. Interestingly, that doesn't happen with headphone output. The second thing, there are official ASIO drivers available for the desktop usage, and I recommend to download them and install them if you'll be using them with any kind of serious Windows player. The third thing, Tone 2 Pro runs significantly warmer than regular Tone 2. Regular Tone 2 is barely warm to the touch, while Tone 2 Pro can reach 43 degrees centigrade, and I did measure that to be sure with my laser pyrometer. It's nothing serious, it doesn't get hotter than that, just don't put your chocolates on top of it. And don't be surprised when you will touch it and you will say it's hot. It is. It is because 43 degrees centigrade is something that we, at least me with my hands, consider to be hot. And this one runs cool, so probably the temperature comes from cooling the headphone amplifiers. The control interface for both of them is a little bit weird and not super intuitive, but once you will set them up, you will only use the volume control wheel anyway. They both look like a work of art. I really like the looks. They really look nice, and they stand out in the world of rectangular DACs. So, they look like a work of art, like a proper expensive hi-fi gear. So if you are a gamer, they will put everything else you have to shame. But the most important thing is that both of them do sound really good, and I wasn't testing them with mediocre gear. They were driving RG4 Mark IV and T9.4 with my electrostats. And when I was saying they are clear, transparent, and have very good resolution, I really meant that. They sound great, and that black and gold finish catches a lot of attention if you would be using them in the office. So, do I recommend them? Yes, absolutely. They are meant to be used in desktop setups, and if you are looking for something super small, great sounding to drive your desktop monitors or headphones, give Tone 2 a listen, because in this case, excellent measurements do mean excellent sound, and the price is also very nice. I thought that they will be at least 2 times expensive, judging by the looks of them and the sound quality. But they're not. $107 and $152 for the Tone 2 Pro. And that's it. Thank you guys, and have a great day with your music. And see you next time.